Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality of the best hair, and welcome to week 5 of...
The Summer of Jackie Chan!
Jesus. And in the spirit of reviewing big requests that I just so happened to already purchase before the summer special already started, we are looking at Shanghai Noon. Released in the year 2000, Shanghai Noon is exactly what it sounds like. Jackie Chan arrives in America, bad guys are everywhere, and he beats them up for 90 or so minutes, but the big twist this time is he arrives in America during the 1800s. And thus right into the Wild West, where we will finally learn which is truly stronger, Kung Fu or lever-action rifles. With Hollywood editing, of course. But what is the story here? Well, a Chinese princess goes missing from the Forbidden City with a demand for ransom, so Jackie Chan heads down to America to save her. Along the way, he runs into Owen Wilson, and the two of them must learn to put aside their differences if they hope to rescue the princess and survive the Wild West together. But not before getting in their fill of culture shock and misunderstandings, of course. So, let's take a look at Shanghai Noon and see if the fist fight at the corral is okay as well. Our story opens in the Forbidden City, where we see Jackie Chan playing the role of Chong Wang, a royal guard of Princess Pei Pei, played by Lucy Liu. She has arrived at the Forbidden City because she's to be married to Prince Unibrow over here. Not that she wants to, of course. Wang even overhears her reading her favorite story that night, The Frog Prince, and how the frog transforms into a prince at the end and they all live happily ever after.
There's no such thing as happily ever after. Not for a real princess.
I've thrown dozens of suitors into the wall as hard as I could. Many of them died, several of them paralyzed, but still, no true love. Well, to be fair, the kiss ending was made in around 1820s or so it's not anachronistic here. Pei Pei's English teacher, Calvin Andrews, played by Jason Connery, tells her she doesn't have to marry the prince of all snack cakes. She can instead escape with him to America. Overhearing this, Wang rushes to stop her, but it's kinda hard considering he's bound by royal decree and his attempts to keep her in the Forbidden City and get married are overruled by her direct demands that he not interfere in her escape attempt. But what's this? It seems Andrews left a note behind for them to find.
10万根金条啊，送到内华达州卡森市的教会里，否则的话，公主性命难保。
Don't you just hate it when you find out your friends only liked you for your ransom? Don't worry though, the Emperor has a plan. Send his 3 best men to America in order to pay the ransom and ensure the safe return of the princess. Rong Guangyu, Qi Yahui, and Eric Chen. Not Jackie Chan, he's not exactly admired in these circles, especially for letting the princess get kidnapped. However, he demands to come with, as it's his duty to not fail her again. As luck would have it, the kid just so happens to be the nephew of the translator, so they figure, screw it, he can tag along and carry their shit. So they head to Nevada, with its beautiful landscapes, powerful locomotives, and of course, cowboys preparing to rob said locomotives.
You okay? You nervous? It's alright to be nervous when you're new. You'll be okay, I'll keep an eye on you.
None of which we care about except for their leader, Owen Wilson, who plays the cute, cuddly, funny, lovable criminal Ray O'Bannon. What is it about cowboys and pirates who just love people who steal other people's shit? I wonder if in a few decades there's going to be cartoons about heroic shoplifters. So our lovable hero heads down there to rob the fuck out of that train car. But it seems the new guy, Wallace, played by Walton Goggins, is having a little too much fun when it comes to abusing random passengers.
Hey, stop! Where did you get this guy?
Texas.
Texas? Are you insane?
Yeah.
You know, I know the joke here is that Owen Wilson is from Texas, but, well, he ain't the only one. However, he's also a bit trigger-happy, as we see when Wang's uncle, who is on the same train, comes in and gets shot! Roy ain't happy and immediately cuts the robbery short. So I guess Roy's the good while they're the bad and the ugly. Though there's just one thing Wang wants to know when he finds out what happened.
Who killed my uncle? Who did this?
That doesn't work if the person in question is no longer in the train car. What do you expect them to do? Go all the way to the front of the train and beat the crap out of the conductor? Being the nephew of the translator, meaning he knows enough English to get by, doesn't help much in making sure the bad guys don't separate the train cars. However, his Jackie Chan stunt powers allow him to keep up the pressure, and avoid the less-than-friendly reception as the robbers aren't particularly interested in answering his question. Oh, and Roy was going to blow the safe in the train, but Wang drops in, finds the dynamite, tries to put out the fuses, but can't. However, his meddling with it does mean the safe simply blows apart from the train. Oh well. Before Roy can get to the bottom of this interruption, Wallace can help by fucking everything up, meaning Wang and Roy both have to run along falling logs in hopes of avoiding death, and Wang can hop onto the other car, separate them, and escape, while Wallace...
Reach for the sky, Bannon! It's my gang now!
takes this opportunity to just take over the gang. Though, if all it took was just pointing your guns at the other guy and saying, "It's my gang now," I'm personally wondering why the hell he didn't do this sooner. Interestingly enough, Princess Pepe is also just now reaching her destination. However, it's not the great homestead of Mr. Andrew's quite wealthy friend so much as a quarry, where hundreds of Chinese immigrants are put through back-breaking labor, as the villainous music clues us into. That's because his friend is no friend of China, but rather Lo Fong, played by Roger Yuan.
Forgive me if I do not bow.
Calvin, this man is a traitor.
And we see her friend is not actually her friend, but was in ours all along! Which we already knew thanks to that little ransom note, but I can't really blame her. I mean, if she took half a second to question it, we wouldn't have a movie. Mr. Andrews can't be that smart anyway, as the first thing he does now that he has her is pull a gun and demand Lo Fong pay double, or else he will kill Pepe! Which results in Lo Fong just killing the fuck out of Andrews, neatly tying up that little plot thread, so she's now double kidnapped, but still defiant. Doing better than Roy anyway, who was buried up to his neck and left for dead out in the desert. But what's this? Who would happen to walk by but Jackie Chan? Yeah, they had that bit of a rough meeting the first time, but it's cool. Wang needs help, Roy needs help. Wang says he'll help dig him up as soon as he tells him how to get to Carson City.
You see those mountains over there? Carson City is on the other side.
Oh, fuck me, this movie is Touchstone, not Paramount. Ah well, Chong Wang keeps his end of the bargain by giving Roy a pair of chopsticks to dig himself out with. Because Asian. Where's the gong guy when you need him? No bother. Along the way, Jackie Chan runs headlong into a battle. Several natives on horseback attacking a young boy, whom Jackie Chan defends with all his might. But he might have a bit of a problem. Turns out Kung Fu beats cowboys, cowboys beats tribesmen, and tribesmen beat Kung Fu. It's kind of like cultural junkin. However, there is something that can beat this small group of men. No, not the stank-ass Bone Club, but rather the entire giant-ass army of other natives. However, these are the good natives. Not that there were bad fuck it. They're not going to kill Jackie Chan. At least, not yet. Though perhaps their intention is to torture him to death with questionable writing. Unfortunately, while Wang speaks several languages, seems this isn't one of them, and the tribe decides, fuck it, get him good and high and he'll shut up. However, by the time the morning comes, Wang learns that he has a new wife, played by Brandon Merrill. Oh, and his Indian name is Man Who Fights in Dress. Now, come on now, does Abenaki blood count for nothing? No? Yeah, I know. So while Pepe is still kidnapped and the Royal Guard are hitchhiking...
They don't look like any Indians I ever seen, Jedediah.
That's because they're not Indians, woman. They're Jews.
With that family from Oregon Trail that never quite made it past the Mississippi. Chong Wang is heading to the local town to say to his new wife, thanks for the whole, marriage thing, and, well, see you later. Strangely enough, even the simple question of, is this Carson City, is hard to get an answer to when you're an Oriental fella dressed up like a Sioux in the 19th century. But he's not giving up, and coincidentally enough just so happens to run back into Roy during this confrontation.
You gave me bad directions.
No, I gave you wrong directions. You want your toothpicks back?
So, yeah, this isn't Carson City, and evidently just one coincidence wasn't quite enough to get these two together. But what's this? It seems someone has got an ace up their sleeve. Quite literally this time, which also, despite the saying, isn't really a good thing right now, and a bar brawl breaks out. Roy and Wang must defeat legions of liquored-up frontiermen, and Wang's skill at dispatching drunken desperados is so high, it actually impresses Roy, but all good things must come to an end.
Who in the hell started this?
The Chinaman.
Well, that's an easy way to figure this one out. How many people look like they've been beaten within an inch of their life with expert precision? And how many look like they're just kind of dumbfounded at questionable attempts at humor?
把书还给我，放我出去 ！Let me out! Give me the book back!
And come to think of it, that is a little bit of both now, isn't it? Yeah, they played it safe anyway and just arrested both of them. One positive to come from this is, while locking the two of them into a tiny cell, it does mean that they can both finally get past that whole trying to kill each other thing. And of course, leaving Roy for dead bit at kind of a sore spot in their history. No bother. Jackie Chan explains that he is a member of the Chinese Royal Guard, and here to ensure the safe return of Princess Pei Pei. However, they must get to Carson City, and also find those 100,000 gold pieces that were on the train that Roy was robbing earlier. Hearing this, Roy springs to action, ready to do anything he can to save those 100,000 gold pieces, for the safe return of a princess, of course. However, there is a slight problem with the fact that, well, they're currently locked in a cage. Oh well, on to Plan P.
What are you doing? Stop! Stop! What are you doing?
Shh. Hold this for me.
No, that's your shirt. You hold it.
Which, of course, isn't a problem for Wang, as you see.
I'm not with you.
When the shirt gets wet, it doesn't break.
I don't know what that means.
It's not so much of an ancient Chinese secret as much as, well, no one can understand basic grammar, I guess. But Roy's demeanor changes when he realizes the power of the lizard drainage style of Kung Fu, as now Wang can break them free!
See? I told you so.
No, you said wet shirt don't break, not piss shirt bend bar.
So Owen Wilson's argument is that Jackie Chan should speak like a caveman? Either way, the power of the pea shall set them free. As long as Roy doesn't have to touch it, that is. Unfortunately, the shirt has already run dry, and they have more bars to get through. Guess Roy has to take matters into his own hands.
Relax. It'll come.
Thanks. That helps you. Good.
Is it a bad thing that this is starting to remind me of that adventure I had with Creepy in Japan? Fortunately, before things can get quite that bad, the wall of the jail is utterly destroyed! That's because someone has come there to save them!
Oh, who's the pretty lady?
This is my wife.
How long you been in this country?
4 days.
Nice work.
Less than a week in the country and he's already found a handy-dandy Deus Ex Machina. Damn, that's convenient. With the two of them free, that means Roy can take the chance to invite himself along for the rescue of the princess. After all, those 100,000 gold pieces aren't going to deliver themselves, right? They'll be delivered by the Royal Guard, who are doing okay considering they only occasionally remind us they're still alive. Oh, and so's the gang, still led by Wallace, who is still a bad guy, in case you forgot. But anyway, Roy has to teach Jackie Chan all about how to be a cowboy. First of all, what is his name exactly?
My name's John Wen.
John Wayne?
Jiang Wen.
That's a terrible cowboy name.
Ha! Because of the famous cowboy movie actor named John Wayne. Actor, so this is like having a posse with guys literally named Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson. But Roy teaches Wang all he knows of how to be a cowboy, twirling your gun for no apparent reason, firing wildly at cans, missing every single one, waiting for the lady with no lines hiding just off screen to come in and fix everything for you, and of course, cowboy limbo. Now that they're prepared, they head into Carson City, where lo and behold, Roy discovers a wanted poster with his name on it. A $500 bounty lets them know he's really made it as an outlaw. But what's this?
I'm wanted too.
What?
This.
Oh, come on. That's not right.
I know. I'm not from Shanghai.
And technically, if it's noon in Shanghai, it's fucking midnight over here, so good luck trying to film a movie. Problem with being wanted men, though, it does make combing the town for clues as to where the princess is a lot harder when you got lawmen combing the town as well, looking for the paycheck tied to your sweet ass. This introduces Xander Berkeley, who plays the Marshal Van Cleef. Oh, Lee Van Cleef, I get it. Nah, no bother, they're fine, they're the good guys.
Let me talk to them. Remember, we have to save the princess.
What are you doing?
It's almost as if that doesn't fucking matter. Realizing that palling around with Roy has put Wang, the Shanghai Kid, on the wrong side of the law, they have a bit of a scuffle, throwing Roy right out the window and into the sights of Van Cleef. Oh well, he can stand out there and have their little showdown while Wang heads out the back, and right into the rest of the lawmen, giving us a kick-ass Jackie Chan action sequence. which was actually even harder to do than it looks. The fake horseshoe was a lot lighter than a real one, making those maneuvers require quite a bit more effort to actually pull off, but Jackie Chan figured that was better than potentially cracking someone's skull open on set. And I think he's speaking from experience. Also, yeah, that showdown is going on, but it's an Owen Wilson showdown, so lots of talking, not much action, taking so long that Jackie Chan beats the crap out of everyone else and uses a sheriff's badge like a throwing star. This gives them the chance to escape, so while Princess Peipei is patiently awaiting her rescue, now also working the quarry, Roy and Wayne can go to Roy's super special secret hideout, where no lawman will ever think to look for them.
Hi, Roy.
Hello, ladies.
Roy.
Make way for a couple of desperados.
Nice to see you again, Mr. O'Bannon.
Greetings. Hello.
That can't be a good sign when the place where everybody knows your name is the titty bar. In case you're wondering though, the only hot, wet, naked action we get is between Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan. It doesn't really progress the plot all that much, but it does help with more character growth between the two of them. Roy is finally breaking down Wang's tough exterior with the power of alcohol. I'll just stick to beer pong. So the two of them get nice and sauced up before Roy heads off for some alone time with Fifi. This results in her questioning his choice of friends. After all, she'd never have taken him for the kind of guy to be riding with a Chinaman.
I'm not exactly riding with Fifi. He's not my friend. He's a Chinaman.
Well, that's...
And Wang overhears everything! Well, specifically the part that would be the worst thing for him to hear and really get in the way of their bonding. Well, it's not quite as forced and ridiculous as in some movies. Road to El Dorado! Excuse me. It's still painfully cliche. But what's even worse is that Van Cleef is actually there as well! Funny, he figured Roy would be at Roy's old hideout. However, attempts to arrest the Shanghai Kid aren't so easy, as we all know Jackie Chan is even more dangerous once he's been sauced up. After drunkenly mastering that situation, Roy tells them that they must escape. Wang isn't exactly happy with him right now, but they try, right into the lawman's hands, and get captured anyway. Not brought to jail this time, though, but down to the quarry.
Mighty impressive hardware you're packing.
Why don't you get your eyes off my package, you twisted son of a bitch?
Okay, fine. Get a good look if it really matters that much to you. As it turns out, Van Cleef is in fact in cahoots with Lo Fong. This means the question comes up as to exactly where that gold he asked for is. Roy tries to act like they have it elsewhere. But unfortunately, Wang is bound by royal decree and can't lie, kinda spilling the beans about the fact that they don't actually have the gold. Oh well, guess a hanging really isn't the worst thing that can happen to you. After all, one of the horses they intend to use to carry the bodies off is none other than Wang's paint horse he got after that surprise wedding, so he calls it over while hides out of frame, lines up the perfect shot. Seriously, the accuracy and timing to shoot Roy's noose right when he drops but before he breaks his fucking neck is second to none. We're reaching levels of convenience that shouldn't even be possible. Though it's just too bad that saving their lives means that Roy and Wang can live long enough to finally break off that friendship.
How could I ever be your friend? I'm just a Chinaman.
Hold on, Chan. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to be
Sayonara, Roy.
Okay, that's Japanese. Now you're confusing me. Now, working alone, Wang heads to the quarry at night, intent on finding the princess and returning her home. Thing is, once he figures out the secret contact he's discussing this with is none other than Princess Peipei, he follows royal decree, groveling and keeping his distance, making a complete ass out of himself and blowing her cover to boot. She says she can't leave anyway because she can do more to help the people here, and he must go! Before he can, though, Lo Fong attacks. It looks like this could be the end. But then...
Reach for the sky, Baldy! That's right. It's Roy.
Roy O'Bannon swoops in to save the day. Not really necessary. I mean, if Wang was really in that much trouble, his wife would just show up and fix everything. So they're friends again, just like that. What an emotional time that was. Oh well, the Royal Guard did finally make it to the drop-off point with the gold. No translator required somehow. However, before the exchange can go off without a hitch and the princess rescued no problem, who would happen to show up but Chong Wang and Roy O'Bannon? Wang straight up says he won't let them take the princess back because she doesn't want to go back to China. Of course, this disobedience is easily taken care of with a little reminder that that royal decree exists. But what's this? Wang is having none of it. He has been in America too long and has a taste for fatty foods, alcoholic beverages, and freedom! Okay, guess Van Cleef can show up too, just so everyone's here for the climax.
How about that? It's a Mexican standoff. Only we ain't got no Mexicans.
So let's take 5. I got a crate full of spray tan out back. Anyone care to join me? The princess taking the royal decree and burning it kicks off the climactic action scene. Chong Wang must do battle with the royal guard itself and also Lo Feng. The fighting is the to-be-expected, beautifully choreographed kung fu ass kickery, while Roy's fight with Van Cleef is, less exciting.
How do you survive out here?
What's that supposed to mean? These aren't my... These guns are really weird.
It was like me in every single VR game. Well, now, I don't suck. The tracking sucks. Eventually, Roy misses so much, he has but 1 bullet left. No worries, Van Cleef tells him that he'll match him with only 1 bullet as well. Obviously lying. But when they face off, Van Cleef learns the terrifying power of plot armor, as every single bullet misses Roy, and Roy's 1 shot pierces Van Cleef's heart. Wang also deftly defeats Lo Feng before Pepe swoops in to save Wang as well. Therefore, happy ending! The princess stays in America, away from her arranged marriage, and Roy decides, you know what, gold is fun and all, but friendship is where it's at. Also, the gang shows up again to remind us they're still in the movie and still bad guys. But lest we forget, Wang's in-laws all have super convenience powers. That just about wraps it all up. Spare Pepe having feelings for Wang, so fuck it! Roy and Hides Out of Frame suddenly are a couple, freeing up Wang to marry the princess. Now they just have to get used to their new lives on the right side of the law.
What would you call yourself?
I don't know. I mean, my real name's Wyatt Earp, but...
Herb? That's terrible name for cowboy.
Yeah, but for a cowboy turned sheriff, it's not only fitting, but historically accurate. Now all you gotta do is grow a mustache the size of Yosemite Sam. Anyway, that was Shanghai Noon, and... it's a movie? Shanghai Noon doesn't really do anything wrong, but it also doesn't really do anything amazingly either. It set out to do a Jackie Chan movie in the Old West, and boom, we got Jackie Chan running around the Old West, doing Old West stuff with some kung fu ass kickery peppered in here and there, and it gives us exactly what we might expect. Well, unless you miss the Owen Wilson side of the movie poster, I guess. You get a lot of Owen Wilson, which isn't bad. He gives a good performance of exactly the kind of role you would expect, but it doesn't mesh perfectly with Jackie Chan, in my opinion. Banter-wise, yes, but when shit goes down, you've got Jackie Chan doing backflips off of buckets beating baddies in the butt with broken bar stools and bourbon, all the while Owen Wilson fidgets awkwardly and makes jokes. That's his thing, and it's a contrast, but it's a contrast that half the time brings the action to a screeching halt. Other than them, the characters are pretty forgettable. The bad guys are bad, the princess is a princess, and the royal guard guards royally. The natives exist, mostly just off-screen, and the gang of outlaws is a gang, outside the law. None of these parts are done particularly badly, mind you, but nothing really excels. They hit all the checkboxes, and boom, we got a movie. At the end of the day, Shanghai Noon is probably as enjoyable as you'd expect. Do you like the idea of a comedy western with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson? Well, have I got the movie for you? If that's not enough to draw you in, though, you likely aren't going to find anything here to keep you interested, coming in at 3 shots of firewater out of 5. I mean, it is technically a better movie, better written, more coherent than Super Cop, but out of the two of them, I would personally rather watch Super Cop. Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado, and remember, no train robberies. I mean, even in westerns, they tend to not end very well.
Keep going with the Chinese. I think that's working. I think they're just about to let you out.
Yes? I uploaded it before the summer special even started. It's just been trapped in YouTube copyright purgatory for that long. It's not my fault. Wait a minute. What Jackie Chan movie are you from?